Welcome to another video. Today we're on the farm and we are going to talk about why we chose to live in the rural countryside. What is the plus? Why did we choose to live out here in this wilderness? Guys, living in the countryside, it's so amazing because it is much more cheaper. You can grow your food. We have a wide expanse of land. Put my basket down. I was just picking some red clover, which I'm gonna go home and process. But we're out here because it is much cheaper to live out here in the countryside. You can grow your own food. You can dry your clothes. Look at my clothesline. Look at my clothesline. You know, I can dry my clothes. I don't have to use my dryer. You know, in the summertime, it's just so quiet. You know, we have a lot of fruits. We have apples, we have plums, we have cherries, we have pears, we have a lot of berries, and we have a lot of just fruits and vegetables growing here. We also have a lot of wild plants growing here, and you can just forage for a lot of things. There's a huge forest on the other side. You can go in there and you can forage for a lot of stuff in there. So this land is very bountiful and we have a lot of things growing here. Another advantage why we choose to live out here is we just like peace and quiet. We like to make, we want to make our own noise. We want to camp. We have 3 acres. Like, your property is massive, it's big. It's sometimes I think it's more than 3 acres. It's so big. We have our forest in the back there, and we can camp in the forest. We can camp on the hill. We can camp behind our house. We can camp on the other side by the fire pit. This property is so beautiful, and it's so spacious, and it's so green. We just love it out here. Another thing is we have a well, so we don't have to pay for water. We can put a hand pump on our well. So when electricity goes, we don't have to worry about like our pump wouldn't work. So we can have a hand pump on it, so we'd have to pay for water. We heat with wood. This is our wood pile here. We have lots of wood. We just keep it covered. When we get, once the wood is dry, we cover it with this top here. So it's just very economical. Right behind me here, you can see our barn. And that is where we store all our wood. So we have like a quarter of the barn is filled with wood. Actually, these 2 little small windows you're seeing here, from there go up, it's like packed with wood, but this wood need to be cut, so we have it here. When we bring the machine in front, it's just easy to put the machine out there, plug it in, and then just cut all the wood, and then we can bring it in here. But we have lots of wood in there, so we don't even need to cut this wood for a while, and we are going to get more wood and pile it up. So this is how we heat our house. Another thing is living out here in the rural countryside is that we just really paying like lower cost when it comes to the housing, because the more rural you buy a house, it's cheaper for you. So if you buy a house in the city, it's very expensive. If you buy a house in a rural area, it's much cheaper, so your mortgage is much lower than if you buy a house in the city. So yeah, that's one of the disadvantages of living out here. Another reason why we choose to live out here is I can grow my herbs and my medicinal plants for my business, because I have a soap business, www.rustic and classic. I'm going to put my link in the bottom there so you can see. And I can grow all my herbs, and I can forage for the things that I can't grow. As you can see, I have a huge property, and so I can, all the things like yarrow, like yellow dock, like all those stuff that I put in my products. All the pine, I have like 4 different pine growing here. You know, I can use them. I use them in my products, in my oils, in my soap, and it's all free, right? I don't have to buy that. I don't have to bring that in. My roses, well, because they excavate here, I lost most of my roses are gone, but hopefully they'll plant them back once they finish fixing. That's part of the deal. You break my roses, you're gonna put them back. So I have my rose garden right in front of the barn, and I have my roses, and I can make rose water, rose hydrosol, and I have a wide expanse of plants that I use to make different things. If you look here, I have these plants here. I have these plants here, and they're all medicinal plants, and they're gonna flower, and once they flower, I'm gonna use them in my products. So I have a whole lot of medicinal plants right here, which is so awesome, and I don't really have to buy any. So this is a plus for me living in the countryside. We also have a lot of clover. We have a lot of clover growing everywhere. See, we have a lot of clover everywhere, so I can pick a lot of clover. I don't have to buy clover, and there's a lot of mosquitoes out here too. We have purple clover, and we have white clover. So we have a white clover, and let me show you guys the purple clover. And we put them in our, look at this beautiful clovers. See, we have all these beautiful clovers growing here, and this goes in my skincare products. We also have this is a wild mustard. This is good for the skin, and it's also good to eat as a green. I have a lot of this beautiful wild mustard growing everywhere, and I can use as a green as well as I can put it in my products. We also have another clover growing here, like a two-tone clover, and I also pick them and grow them. But we have a lot of things here. We also have willow. We have 1, 2, we have another one, 3, 4, 5, and we had one here, 6 willow trees. And willow bark is good for pain. The leaves are good for eczema. So we have all those trees here. So we have grapes, we have wild grapes, we have burdock. We have burdock right here growing there. We have a lot of burdock on the other side too. We dig the root up. We have dandelion. We have a lot of sage growing here too. We have wild sage as well as the regular sage growing here. So we have a lot of medicinal plants that we can access and use for our products out here. So we love living here. And then another thing that we like living out here is we can make bonfires, we can cook outside, we can build things. It's just amazing living out here, and we can just have a massive garden and we can grow a lot of stuff. Another thing we like about living out here is we have a cellar, and we can put potatoes in the cellar. We can store any things that we make or any preserves that we made from our garden. We can put it in the cellar and it stays nice and cool all winter. So we love living out here in the rural countryside. Another thing about living out here is, like, you can put up any structure that you want without anybody bothering you or saying, you know, building stuff. You see how quiet it is. We can't even see our neighbors. Our neighbors are all the way down there, all the way up there, all the way up there. You know what I mean? Nobody to bother you, nobody to, like, you know, you have your privacy. You can't even see the road from here except if you go on our driveway. So yeah, so that's why we choose to live in the rural countryside. It is very cheap for us, it's very inexpensive, and we don't have this overhead with bills and thing. I think the most things we're paying for is electricity and internet. Was not great when we moved out here, but since we moved out here, the internet service has upgraded twice, so now we have better internet. And now they're bringing fiber internet in here. Actually, they use our land on that side over there to put one big box, so we're gonna get it like really strong. So we're really happy about that. Once we come back to this property, we will have really strong force internet, which we're happy about. But yeah, so guys, so this is why we choose to live in the rural countryside, and this is why we love living out here, because we just have that peace, we just have that quiet, and we don't have to worry about people like bothering us, and you know, and then we can do all the things that we want to do, and we can just be free on our own land, in our own space, and you know, do the things that we love and do the things that we enjoy. And you know, I can just come out here and I can go walking in my forest if I want. I can go walking around my property. I can go down my driveway and I can cross the street and I can go walking in the huge forest on the other side. I can do a lot of foraging. I can cook outside when I want, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's just beautiful living out here. So guys, if you like living in rural areas, put a comment in the bottom. I know some of those of my Kenyan and African people who are watching me, I know you guys have land, and I see you guys showing all the beautiful greenery you have. Well, I have greenery too. Okay, you all, so this is the reason why we chose to live in this rural countryside area, and this is why we love living out here. I hope you guys like this video. I had to come to get my shirt because mosquitoes were just devouring me alive. Even if I have repellent on, I don't know what's going on. But anyways, I put my shirt on because mosquitoes. So the only problem is mosquitoes out here. That's the only thing. But they tend to come at like early spring. And then by the end of June, they're less. We have some mosquito zappers, which does a really good job. And once you put on some spray, it's good. In the daytime, they're not too bad. But once it starts to get late in the evening time, like 6, 7 o'clock, once it starts to get dark, then they start to bite a little bit. But once the temperature is nice and warm, it's they don't really bite that much. They're not really a bother. But guys, that's basically it. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you guys. Remember to stay positive, and I will see you in the next video. Mwah, mwah. Ciao, ciao, my loves.